and to guide us through this relaxing Friday, ending our week strong. So turn it over to Kelsey.
Thank you, Casey. Hello, guys. Let's go ahead and meet at the back of our mats for this flow. And we're just going to go ahead and sit at bending our knees, sitting in whichever way feels comfortable for you, making sure that the navel is tucked in, eyes nice and closed. Your spine is nice and lengthened, making sure that the shoulders are nice and rolled back away from the ears, and slowly come to a normal breath, breathing in and breathing out. And as you're breathing in, notice how you feel on your mat today. Maybe it's a little excitement, anxiousness, maybe a little stress. And just exhale all of that worriness. You're here today on your mat, coming in for this practice to release anything that doesn't serve you. And on your inhale, go ahead, sweeping the hands up to the sky. Bringing the hands and the palms together. Nice and slowly coming to your hands, nodding down. Inhale one more time. Bring the hands up to the sky. Bring the palms together. And as you exhale, bringing the hands behind you, interlacing the fingers and pushing out with a inhale and stretching the abdominal chest, the shoulder blades, maybe even micro bending. And slowly go ahead and turn over to the right. And up on the right, go ahead and bring the chin down and slowly make tiny little circles to the left. And nodding down, circling over to the right. Coming back to neutral, letting go of the fingers. And coming forward into your child's pose, either having the knees together or nice and separated apart, whatever feels comfortable for you. Making sure the fingers are nice and spread apart, forearms are away from the top of the mat, and bringing in the forehead down to the ground. Take a big inhale and exhale. A few more breaths. One more time. Big inhale and exhale. Coming on to the fingertips, walking yourself right back. Bringing the knees together and coming into your tabletop position. Now go ahead and bending the toes, pushing up into your downward facing dog, walking out the calves, grounding the hands, spreading the fingertips. And if you can't bring the heels all the way down to your mat, go ahead and bend the knees and bringing the chest closer to the thighs. Whatever feels comfortable for you, maybe even still walking your dog, stretching out the calves. If that's an area that you're feeling a little bit more tightness. Or maybe even bringing the left hand and grabbing over to the right calf or even the right ankle and gazing over through the right armpit. Staying here for a few breaths. Feeling that stretch. Slowly let it go, bringing back onto your mat. And now go ahead and bring the right hand and coming over and grabbing onto the left calf or left ankle, depending how flexible you are. And maybe even gazing over to your left armpit. Beautiful. Taking your time right here, whatever feels comfortable. Slowly coming back. into your downward facing dog. Go ahead and swing the right leg up, bending the right knee, stacking it over and grounding your left foot deep into your mat. Pulling it a little bit for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Feeling that fluidity, bringing it back into bending it, floating in between the hands, coming into and placing it right down your foot in between the hands, bending down the left knee, and sweeping the hands up to the sky, tucking in the navel, finding that length. Maybe you might feel some tightness over onto the left side. And maybe you want to go ahead and either push a little bit more to feel that stretch, or you could come in nice and tall, whatever it is that you're feeling in your body today. Maybe even micro bending a little bit more as you take a deep inhale and exhale out. Making sure that the toes are nice and grounded on each side. Shooting all your energy through your fingertips. And on your exhale, let's go ahead and place the hands back onto the mat, lifting the left knee, bringing back the right leg, and pushing back into your downward facing dog. Feeling a little bit more groundingness with each inhale and exhale. Now here we go, sweeping the left leg up, bending that left knee, stacking it over onto the right side, grounding that right foot. Maybe you want to stay here, or option of making those little circles again for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Creating that fluidity, bending the knee, bringing it over in between the hands. Now bend the right knee down, sweeping the hands back up. And again, maybe you want to feel a little bit more stretch, a little bit more sensation onto the right side. So go ahead and push a little bit forward if that feels comfortable for you. If not, maybe even bring in a little bit more alignment, a little bit more grounding and balance, tucking in the navel, bringing the hands up, spreading out the fingertips. Maybe even bending back a little bit. For 3, my hands back down to your chaturanga dadasana. Slowly bending the elbows all the way down, flipping the feet, pushing up into your upward facing dog, thighs away from the mat. Exhale, pushing it back to your downward facing dog. Beautiful. Taking this moment. Maybe you needed feeling a little bit of that stretch. Now bringing the toes together, big toes together, bending the knees, bringing the toes a little bit higher. Bend the knees, looking over at your thumbs, and maybe even walk, step, or jump to the top of your mat. Coming straight up into your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe creating space in between the feet into your forward fold. Sweeping the hands back up to the sky, into your mountain pose. Hands to the side, Samasasiti. Go ahead and get a little bit of water, and we'll go ahead and move on to the next part of our practice. And we'll go ahead and warm up a little bit more to just really engage the thighs and the core and open our whole body for creating that space. So inhale, sweeping the hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, bringing the nose to the knee. Inhale, walk, step, or jump back into your plank position, taking your Chaturanga Dandasana. Lowering down, coming up to your upward facing dog. Shoulders away from the ears. Point the toes, pushing back into your downward facing dog. Walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the hands up to the sky. Hands to heart center, Samasthiti. Here we go, one more time, sweeping the hands up to the sky. Big inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Walk, step, or jump to the back of your mat. Take your Chaturanga Dandasana, leaning forward, coming down, pushing up. Now, option to always take baby cobra or coming back into your child's pose if you're ever needing that break. Inhale, pushing back into your downward facing dog if you haven't so. Gazing at the thumbs. Walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the hands up to the sky. Hands to heart center. Samasthiti. One more round. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Walk, step, or jump to the back of your mat. Leaning forward, take your Chaturanga Dandasana, bending the elbows, pushing back up to your upward facing dog, or option of baby cobra, and pushing back into your downward facing dog. Walk, step, or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the hands up to the sky. Hands to heart center, Samasthiti. Beautiful. Now from here, let's go ahead and coming down, squatting down just a little bit, bringing your hands sweeping up to your chair pose. Now bringing the knees together, big toes touching together, heels spread apart, tucking in the tailbone, and bringing in the navel, engaging the core. Spreading out the fingertips, breathing in, and exhaling out. Now go ahead and bring the hands to heart center, and taking a twist, bringing the right elbow to the left, your right elbow to your left knee, and gazing over to the left shoulder. And maybe option of even extending out the arms, opening up the heart. A little bit of a challenge here. That's okay if you feel comfortable staying into the heart, hands to heart center, or even just staying into your chair pose. And when you're ready, go ahead and bring in the hands back together. Coming back to neutral, sweeping the hands back up, standing. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Bending the knees, sweeping the hands back into your chair pose. Again, tucking the tailbone, bringing the knees together, nice and straight. Remember to always coming back to your breath. Bringing the hands to heart center. Now taking your left elbow and bringing it, twisting over to the right knee, gazing over the right shoulder. Again, option of extending the arms out, creating that space, opening the heart. Feeling that burn in the quads. And when you're ready, go ahead and come back to heart center. Bringing back to neutral, sweeping the hands back up, all the way up to standing. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, coming back to your forward fold. Now walk, step, or jump back to the back of your mat. Leaning forward, bending down the elbows. Coming up into your chaturanga, up to upward facing dog. Pushing it back into your downward facing dog. Beautiful. Go ahead and take a moment to come back to your normal breath if you need that little break, or option to always coming back into your child's pose. And as we're into this flow, I'm just welcoming you into challenging yourself if you need to, if you want to. Coming into variety. Big breath, inhale. And exhale, slowing down that blood flow. Slowly waking up the body, energizing in different areas. Now inhale, go ahead and sweep the right foot up. And bending the knee, coming back into center, crunching in, staying in the middle. Into more of a plank position. Pushing it back into your three-legged dog. Finding that groundness and balance. Bending the knee and coming back to that crunch plank. Pushing it back up. And exhale, coming back to your crunch plank. Two more. Sweeping it up into your three-legged dog, bending the knee, coming in, engaging that core. Last one. Bringing it in between the knees and bringing it back up and gently bringing back your right leg down into your downward facing dog. Inhale, sweeping the left leg up, bending that left knee and bringing it into the middle. Beautiful, hovering it over. Exhale, sweeping that left leg back up one more time and bringing it in. Here we go, two more. Inhale and exhale, bringing it in. Last one, sweeping it back into your three-legged dog and coming back into crunching into your plank. Inhale, last one, sweeping it back up and gently placing the left leg back down into your downward facing dog. Now coming up to the toes, bending the knee, gazing forward to the two thumbs, and just try to go ahead and take a little jump to come to the top of your mat. Just coming gently up into your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the hands back up to the sky. Hands to heart center. Samsasiti. Let's go ahead and get some water a little bit, rehydrate if you're needing that. Maybe even towel off if you're sweating like me. Now let's go ahead and meet back into our downward facing dog. Placing the hands nice and grounded. Coming back into your plank position and pushing back. And taking this moment right here, sweeping the right leg up. And now from here, you want to go ahead, when you're bending that right knee, go ahead and bring it over to the right side into that opening area, extending the foot out. And with your left foot, go ahead and ground it all the way nice and flat. And extending the left arm up. And from right here, you're really stretching out the IT band, even engaging the core a little bit. If you feel comfortable enough, go ahead and place the right hand back down and just go ahead and load a little bit more. Slowly with every inhale and exhale. It's really stretching out this area. Staying here for a few more breaths. Hang in there. Now slowly coming back onto the left toes and gently sweeping back the right foot to meet the left. Pushing back into your downward facing dog. And right foot comes flat. Extending the right hand up. Feeling that nice stretch right here. If you feel comfortable, again, go ahead and place your hand if you're needing more stability, more groundingness in your practice. And when you're ready, go ahead and gently bring back the left foot. Coming back into your downward facing dog. And gently swooping over. Hands, you should be gazed right in between upward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Shoulders away from the ears. Thighs up away from the mat. And bringing the toes, pushing back into your downward facing dog. Beautiful. Now gently walk up to the top of the mat. And we'll go ahead and bringing the hands down, bending the knees. Coming back into your seated position. Now from here, we'll go ahead and crossing the legs. So your left knee will be the one that we'll be starting with first, and bringing the right leg over on top of it. Really help opening the hip flexors. Make sure that your sit bones are nice and grounded onto your mat. You want to make sure that our feet are staying flexed. Back. Part centering the left elbow on knee and gazing over. You might feel a little sensation that's you're probably not used to, but it has so many great benefits in opening the hip flexors. I love doing this one before. Or palms and the elbows, gazing over the right shoulder. For 3, for 2, and for 1, coming slowly, gently back to center. Now go ahead and extend the hands out as much as you can, spreading out the fingertips, and just gently resting your heart on top of the thighs, making sure the sit bones are still grounded onto your mat, and just feel this gentle stretch of pushing back the hips. And at the same time, trying to extend out the fingertips as much as possible. Making sure the hips are not rising off the mat, so you don't want to be lifting. You want to stay nice and grounded. Again, you're probably feeling it right here in the right hip and glute joint. This is really helpful for anybody that's just kind of sitting down all day, maybe doing a lot of homework, notes, maybe working all day. Now gently walk your hands back up. And we're just going to uncross our legs and switching them over to the opposite side. Really making sure that the right is tucked right underneath and bringing the left one over. Making sure that the feet are nice and flexed still. Inhale, sweeping the hands back up. Making sure the sit bones are nice and grounded. Bringing the hands to center. Taking a gentle twist, bringing the right elbow to the left knee this time. Maybe you feel one side a little bit tighter than the other. That's okay, totally normal. Creating this openness, making sure that the sit bones are grounded. Making sure that the feet are still flexed, make sure they're not relaxed, keeping that engagement. Staying here for a few breaths. Letting go of any pain or discomfort. slowly back to your center and chest nice and knee. Make sure the hips are not lifting. Fingertips nice and spread apart. And maybe even closing the eyes to enjoy this moment, being present in this stretch. Really thanking your body for being here on your mat, taking this moment for yourself. So when you're ready, go ahead and slowly walk your hands back up and gently undo the legs. And now this time we'll go ahead and I'll be facing you guys a little bit more. So we'll go ahead and bringing the right leg, and you just want to go ahead and cradle it, bringing it over, bringing the knee, tucking it into the elbow, bringing your foot and tucking it into your left elbow, and just hugging it and bringing it as close as possible to your chest and rocking it from side to side. And from here, we'll get ready into and warmed up for our next posture that we'll be doing. Now you can even rock from side to side if you're feeling a little bit more tension into that right hip flexor. Maybe I'm making little tiny circles, feeling that movement, maybe rotating clockwise. Maybe swaying from side to side. Beautiful. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and gently unleash the fingertips and place the leg down. We'll go ahead and do it on the other side. So knee tucked into our left elbow, foot tucking into our right elbow. Interlacing the fingers, bringing the leg close as possible to the chest and rocking from side to side. Again, you can go ahead, maybe making even tiny little circles, nice and gentle. Beautiful. Maybe you feel a different sensation from the left to the right. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and gently letting go of fingertips, bringing that leg back down, figure pose. So bringing the right leg on top of the right shoulder, making sure it's nice and tucked in. Not only do this if this is within your practice, grounding the hands, making sure there's plenty of space. Now you just kind of want to play around here with your arm balance and maybe even lift yourself from one side. Maybe bring yourself back down. Little by little, can't jump into it too fast. And bringing it back down. Maybe the leg comes untucked from on top of the shoulder. But once you feel ready, you want to go ahead and hook the left foot to the right and extend out. Back into your chaturanga just a little bit. Gazing forward. Slowly down. Unhook yourself gently. Even try it onto your other side. I know my right side might be a little weaker sometimes, so maybe even the left will be a little, only if this is within your practice. Again, practicing your little arm strengths and balances, lifting up, coming back down. Lifting up one more time. And this is where you'll kind of feel like you want to take your leap of faith of hooking the right foot to your left. Coming up, hook the left to the right, extending out, bending the elbows, maybe even gazing a little bit forward. Gently come back Bring it down, unhook it. And you can always play around a little bit with that pose. Takes a little bit more practice sometimes. Go ahead and get some water and we'll meet back into our tabletop. When you're ready, go ahead and pushing back into your downward facing dog. Grounding the hands, grounding the feet a little bit, and maybe even walk the dog a little bit just to feel a little bit more difference than you did in the beginning of your practice. Maybe you feel a little bit more flexibility, more fluidity. Now go ahead and sweep the right leg up. Bringing it in between the hands. Now pivoting the left leg down to a 45-degree angle, sweeping the hands back up into your first warrior one. Making sure that the right knee is at a 90-degree angle. Make sure the hips are nice and square, parallel to your mat. Breathing in. Exhaling out. Beautiful. Finding that strength and openness within the lower body. Gazing up. Staying here for 3. For 2. And for 1. Go ahead and bring the hands down into your warrior 2. Gazing down into the middle fingers. Making sure you're nice and parallel. With every breath, go ahead a little bit deeper. See how much you can go into this posture with grace and strength and balance. And when you're ready, go ahead and bring your right hand, flip it up, bringing the left hand down onto the thigh, swinging it, floating it over into your reverse warrior. And on your exhale, go ahead and bring it back to your warrior 2. Maybe I'm placing the right hand down, floating the left hand above you. Maybe even gazing at the fingertips, finding that length and strength, shooting straight over. Maybe if you're ready or would you like more stability, go ahead and place the right hand down, right next to your leg, and using the shoulder, aligning your knee, your right knee and your right shoulder. Maybe even taking the bind of bringing the right hand underneath and coming over and interlacing the fingertips, opening the heart, so gazing up. If it's in your practice, go ahead and try it. When you're ready, go ahead and undo your bind gently, pushing back up into your reverse warrior. And windmilling the arms back down, bringing the right foot to meet the left, coming down into your chaturanga dandasana, pushing up into your upward facing dog, and curling toes, pushing back into your downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and do the same thing on the left side, sweeping the left leg up, bending the knee, floating it over, bringing the right foot planted to a 45-degree angle, sweep the hands all the way up. Inhale and exhale. Find that strength, find that balance. Root yourself through your foot, through your mat. Beautiful. And bring the hands down for warrior 2. Gazing into your middle finger, making sure you're nice and straight as an arrow. And flipping the left hand, the left palm up, floating it over, bringing the left hand or the right hand down to your right thigh for reverse warrior. Beautiful. Now slowly coming back to your warrior 2, and bending your left elbow onto the left knee, floating the right hand above you. Feeling for your side stretch angle pose. And again, placing your left hand if you're needing more of that stability, or if it's in your practice, go ahead and take that bind. Opening the shoulder, opening the chest. Beautiful. When you're ready, go ahead and undo that bind. Gently coming back with your hand to your mat and slowly coming back up into your warrior two. Reverse warrior, flipping the hand over. And on your exhale, windmill the arms coming back down, bringing the left foot to meet the right, leaning forward into your chaturanga dandasana, pushing up into your upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful, coming back to your regular breath, inhaling and exhaling out. Thanking yourself for all these new challenges and varieties within this flow. Inhale and exhale. Now, whenever you're ready, we'll go ahead and gaze the fingertips. Now, to get ready and to transition to Eka Purakanasana, you want to go ahead and bending your left leg, sweeping it up, bending that knee. And as you come forward, shifting over to your plank, bending the elbows and bringing that left knee on top like a shelf. Now, you can stay here if that feels comfortable for you, or you want to make sure you can extend out, pushing forward. Whatever feels comfortable for you. You can always play around, or you can always try again if you feel comfortable with that. So again, switching over that left knee, left leg, bending it over, coming into your chaturanga, extending out, and coming to your Eka Purakanasana. Pop it back into your chaturanga dandasana, upward facing dog, pushing it back to your downward facing dog. Left side, right side always feels a little tight or uncomfortable at times. So I always want to make sure I really stretch out the hips when we're doing these. Now for the right side, sweeping the right leg up, bend that knee, hovering over, creating that bend in the elbows, and extending out. Oh. We'll try that one more time. Now we're pushing back out into your up downward facing dog. Right leg sweeps up, hovering over, creating that shelf. Pushing it back, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now, let's go ahead and gently float over into our plank. Bend the elbows, lowering your whole body down. Extending the arms out, maybe even placing one cheek onto one side of the mat, or maybe even creating a little pillow. Lowering blood flow from the body, lowering the heart rate. Take a deep breath. Now go ahead and bring the hands back down to the side. Bringing the elbows a little bit closer together and have the forehead placing down, grounded onto your mat. And on your inhale, gently and slowly coming up into your baby cobra. Exhale, coming back down. Inhale, coming back to your baby cobra. Bringing the shoulders away from the ears, relaxing the glutes. Exhale, gently coming back down. Now on your next exhale, we'll slowly, fully coming back into your full cobra. Inhale, coming up, extending the arms out. Maybe a slight micro bend in the elbows, relaxing the glutes, shoulders away from the ears. Gazing up, stretching the abdominal. And exhale, flow back down. Now slowly rolling back onto the back of your mat. Your back is nice and flat, straight. Go ahead and bring one knee a little bit closer, extending your right leg out, and maybe even hugging it, rocking from side to side. Now with the left leg, go ahead, keeping it bent, extend that left leg out, feeling that stretch within the inner thigh, within the hip flexor. Maybe even placing one hand on the belly, or maybe one hand on the right side of your pelvis to make sure there's nice stability. And when you're ready, go ahead and bring that left hip flexor in front and switch it over with your right. Extending out to the side, slowly and gently, feeling that inner thigh stretch. Beautiful. Take a deep breath and exhale out, going a little bit deeper. You feel that one side might have been a little bit tighter, go ahead and go back into either that left side or right side, whatever feels comfortable for you. Slowly coming back to center, bringing both knees in, hugging them forward, bring yourself in, and exhale, extend out, placing the hands down into your Shavasana pose. Relaxing the toes wherever they fall, relaxing the thighs, the hands. Thanking yourself for new challenges, new arm balances, going into yourself a little bit deeper within your practice today. Whatever it is that you needed, I hope you found it here within this flow. Now slowly come back into your normal breath. Lower that heart rate, close the eyes. Relax the toes, the thighs, the hands. Relax the shoulder blades away from the ears. Relax any tension that you're holding in the jaw. Now slowly bringing back movement back into the toes and the hands. Excuse me. We'll go ahead and create a little bit more movement within the joints, and the wrists. And slowly bending the knees. Maybe come into your fetal position, left or right, whatever is comfortable for you. Shifting over, using your left or right palm and pushing up nice and slowly. Sweeping over the hands or the legs, sorry, into your seated position. Inhale, sweeping the hands back up, feeling that stretch, bringing the hands, interlacing them, or hands to heart center, bend the elbows. Thank you for joining me into this amazing Friday flow. Sending you love and light. Namaste.
Have a great weekend, staying positive. and strong, and we'll see you again Monday at 12 o'clock. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you, Chelsea.